We believe that the future of programming is not in the processes of script coding, but in the code generation of ready-made solutions. This is what fundamentally new tools for automating the routine work of developers stand for. It's a parallel world that doesn't cancel out classic programming methods, yet it's an inevitable alternative that expands the next generation developer community. We are glad to welcome you friends on the channel of the Beeptoolkit platform and are pleased to present its final version. Beeptoolkit. This is a virtual laboratory in the form of a software environment and at the same time a software controller with a connection to external equipment at the binary logic level. The central processing unit is the processor of a desktop computer, laptop, tablet, or mini computer. Working in the Beeptoolkit environment does not require developers to have special knowledge of languages and programming experience. Instead, you use simple binary logic instructions, and the whole development process is like setting up a multifunctional game joystick. This is a comfortable, unparalleled multitasking tool for prototyping, robotics development, automatics, and smart systems. It is easy and simple to install on any form factor computer running the LTSC version of Windows. The platform package includes USB modules for data collection from sensors and external load management. It is also possible to connect video cameras, as well as other plug-and-play USB devices. You decide what the controller configuration will be and expand the types of ports depending on the complexity of your ideas and desires. First of all, we pay attention to the main R&D panel, which allows developers to conduct many experiments with code generation. Watch in real time the execution of your algorithms, save all parameters and instructions for their subsequent use, export, or delegation. And yes, working with the R&D panel is similar to the service menu of game joysticks, when it is enough to specify the values of variables or keyboard shortcuts. Our previous educational videos showcase the platform in action, methods, and instructions. Numerous examples of how the software part connects and interacts with external equipment. In this version, we have implemented digital indication of settings and control of I/O modules, as well as USB cameras. Here you can also configure and monitor the status of input and output ports, the topology of connections, perform data collection in the form of measurements and so on. A lot of work has been done to improve the displayed information and pop-ups. Now such processes will run in the background and monitor ring their active status. Let's run the scenario and see how the script of some automation process looks like. When we need to generate a logical unit of one of the 16 channels of the USB output module, first of all, we need to enter an instruction indicating the ID number of this module. If several output modules are used in the project, the channel is addressed in accordance with the ID of the module number specified in the instruction. The USB input module performs selective or simultaneous data acquisition on 10 channels ranging from 1 microvolt to 3 and 3 volts. Super property. This is the ability to create a bidirectional state instruction. The port simultaneously serves as an output, input, or by applying a trigger value to one of the output channels. So if the input module in the instruction is not activated, then it can be an output logic trigger signal of one of the 16 channels, taking into account the response time. If you do not specify an output channel, but only include input channels, this will be a set of measurements over a certain period of time. During development, it is often necessary to make preliminary measurements of the sensor data, for example, to characterize the sensor, calibrate it, or derive a threshold value. For statistics and analysis, you can create and save data collection reports in the desired time interval. These are very convenient and popular features that should always be at hand. These fields specify whether output modules are to be included in the overall automation scenario by their identification numbers. This is important when planning the topology of the designed equipment. On the tabs of the port instructions, there is an indication of the addresses of the USB modules to the configured ports and the category of devices. When the main script is running, the port status indicator displays the progress of access to ports by their numbers or names in real time. Let's enter the instructions for such a scenario and see how real-time monitoring. We demonstrated how to work with machine vision ports in previous lectures. On the RND panel, we indicate the ID numbers of the USB cameras. You can perform startup, calibration, and other settings for use in the main scenario, as well as save the results of photographing at intervals for further processing. It is important to take into account that it is always possible to cancel all current instructions and return the platform to a pre-designed state. If necessary, all current parameters and settings can be saved beforehand, or cancel them completely without saving. To do this, buttons the Save Configuration, Reset, or Read Configuration keys. By default, the current configuration field refers to the pre-project status, but if you specify the path to one of the previously saved projects, everything will be automatically configured according to this project. Thus, we devote a lot of effort to the convenience and simplification of automation of the work of developers. This is a key principle of our philosophy, which, according to many experts, we managed to implement in the platform. For anyone interested, we strongly recommend watching our previous videos with a simple visual demonstration of the platform in operation with various hardware architectures. Subscribe to our channel, like and share views with your friends. We will always be glad to see you in the community of the platform forum, as well as on our public social networks, where we discuss and consider all kinds of technical and organizational issues of partnership with interest. Links are in the description below. See you soon, friends.